Welcome to Ray-Wired Logic. Have you ever walked up to a valve and realized the standard setup won't work? Or worse, wondered if it was configured that way for a reason? Or if someone before you just messed it up? Today I'm going to walk you through 4 different ways to connect a positioner. I'll be reconfiguring my bench setup for each one, hooking up the air and milliamp signal so you can see exactly how the logic changes. Before we get started, I want to show you what happens when you change the 4 to 20 milliamp signal without putting the air on. I'm doing this so I can show you what happens without the positioner moving. As you can see, this toggle that we normally use by hand to move the valve actually moves because of this 4 to 20 milliamp signal that goes to the coil. As you might already know, the movement for a positioner is clockwise and counterclockwise. If you're using a positioner on a hydraulic or a pneumatic cylinder, that movement is linear, but we can take that linear left and right movement and turn it into a turning clockwise and counterclockwise moment. But for this video, I'm just using a normal actuator. As you can see, the 20 milliamps will turn the positioner in a counterclockwise direction. 4 milliamps will turn it in a clockwise direction. Now, as I've said before, the 4 milliamps closes it in a clockwise direction, which also means if there is a problem, if the wire gets cut, if we lose power, the fail-safe, this will be 0 milliamps. What happens then, it moves more towards the 4 milliamps, past it really, which means that the fault condition is a closed position. For the next configuration, I've removed the indicator so we can see the cam plate easier. As you can see, I've turned the cam plate around and we are now on direct actuation. Let's see what happens with that. Just as a quick note, anytime you need to change the cam plate over from reverse acting to direct acting or vice versa, you have to swap the airlines over to match. With the cam plate turned over and the airline swapped over, I'm just toggling the counter lever to make sure that everything works fine. Now, as you can imagine, the 0 position will be off. And also, because the movement is in a different direction, the 0 will be off from the cam plate. So we have to re-zero and find that 0 again. If you just add your 4 to 20 milliamps at this point, it might not work properly, it might just swing around, and it might not find the right spot. So we have to zero it first. With this second setup, what we're really doing here is opening and closing in opposite directions to what is standard. The only reason why you would do this is if you have a cylinder and you can't put the positioner where you would like to put it to keep everything standard, you might have to put it on the other side, which means your movement, your in and out, left and right, open close movement, turns out to be non-standard for your positioner movement. So Our failsafe is still closed. At this point, it's just that we're going in opposite directions from our standard. Our first two setups were fail closed, but in the two separate setups, the direction of movement was different for both setups. With the third setup, we are now going to try to fail in the open position. Let's have a look at how we do this. The reason why we swap polarity on this setup is so that we can have the 20 milliamp give us the closed signal and the 4 milliamps give us the open signal. So you can imagine if you're going to 0 milliamps with your fault, where you've lost power or the cable got cut, because the 0 milliamp is past the 4 milliamps and 4 milliamps is open, well, we are going to sit in the open position as a fail-safe. Sometimes with setup changes, it helps to go to a different milliamp, like 20 milliamps, just to see which way it goes, to see which way you need to re-zero your position. For the last two setups, this one included, when we are trying to do a fail open, we have to put the 4 milliamps towards open. And to get that done, we have to get the output from the PLC swapped over. Normally, your output from the PLC, if you have 0% output, will be the 4 milliamps, and the 100% output will be the 20 milliamps. But for these, you have to get them swapped over, so that your output signal for 0% is 20 milliamps, and your output for 100% is 4 milliamps. The complete opposite to what we would normally do. In our fourth and final setup, we still wanted to fail in the open position, but our valve is moving in the opposite direction, so counterclockwise is open and clockwise is closed. With this setup, just like the previous one, the 4 milliamps opens the valve. Because of that, we got to make sure that the output on the PLC is swapped over, meaning that the 0% output on the operator screen will kick out 20 milliamps, and for 100% open, it'll kick out your 4 milliamps. Again, this is for fail-safe, to fail in the open position, because the fail will be a 0 milliamp if the cable gets cut or you lose power. That will mean the 4 milliamp is where your fail-safe would be. And this is for the open position. Before I sign off, I just want to quickly touch on the linear movement. And with this diagram, just showing you one of those linear valves that you get. It doesn't have to be a cylinder. So as you can see, the first setup number 1, we are closing clockwise, and the failsafe is also clockwise. The linear movement from the valve stem is a turning moment for the positioner. Now if we go to setup number 2, you can see that the positioner is on the opposite side, and that's to close counterclockwise, and then also the failsafe is in the closed position. If we now move to setup number 3, then you can see that closed is still counterclockwise, but we want to fail open. And then the fourth one, we are closing in a clockwise direction, but our failsafe is in the open position. If you want to know a little bit more about that, please let me know. Thank you for watching Ray-Wired Logic. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or you would like to see any videos or anything in specific, please let me know in the comments below.